Okay, welcome to day 63 of trying to become a SOC Analyst. Now today I thought I'd mix it up a bit and jump onto CyberDefenders. I've been super addicted to doing their cyber range labs these last couple of weeks. Majority of them are free. There's only a couple of premium ones that you have to pay for, and they're more the active boxes. But if you come to cyber range and tracks, there's these role-based tracks where you can select SOC Analyst Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3, and I've been working my way through Tier 1. So just to show you what it is, I've done 20 of the labs so far. So all different categories: network forensics, threat intel, network forensic, endpoint forensics, so they're all the same, network, endpoint, threat intel again, so you get the idea. They're actually just really great. Cloud forensics, so it's starting to get a little bit harder as we get further down the track. So that's my progression on this one. I've done a couple of active boxes as well, which has got me some pretty good ranks. I guess not many people are active. Top 10 in Australia and top 4% in the world, so not many people are playing. But these are the premium ones. They're more the ones that don't have spoilers. Anyway, enough going on about this. This is the current one I'm up to. Level 3 Tomcat Takeover. We get a brief summary: analyze network traffic using Wireshark's custom columns, filters and statistics to identify suspicious web server administration access and potential compromise. It's going to be a network forensics investigation. The tools that we can use, or they suggest we use, is Wireshark and Network Miner. They map it to the tactics and we get the scenario. The SOC team has identified suspicious activity on a web server within the company's intranet. To better understand the situation, they have captured network traffic to analyze. The PCAP file may contain evidence of malicious activities that lead to the compromise of the Apache Tomcat web server. Your task is to analyze the PCAP file to help understand the scope of their attack. And we have some questions. Sort of bit like all the labs where you get a bit of a hint in the format of the answer. So alright, let me get rid of this camera. And we'll download our lab files. Like I said, these retired boxes, a lot of them are downloadable, like PCAPs, for you to investigate with Wireshark, so you don't need access to their labs. A couple of the other ones I've done so far are like a Linux file system image they give you to investigate, Windows system that's been imaged to investigate. Anyway, there's a lot of things you can do on your own endpoint. So let's go to downloads. Whoops. Move, what's the file? 135 Tomcat to CCD. Unzip the file. The password is the CyberDefenders. And we'll see that we've just got a PCAP. So open up Wireshark. And where did we go? Download? No, it wasn't. Oh, it was downloaded yet. CCD temp web server PCAP. Okay, so before we jump into looking through the logs, this one doesn't seem too bad because there's not that much noise in the log. So that's good. Anyway, okay. So the questions that we're hunting is Given the suspicious activity detected on the web server, the PCAP file reveals a series of requests across various ports indicating potential scanning behavior. Can you identify the source IP responsible for initiating these requests on our server? So I think the easiest way to find that out is going to be, we know that they're port scanning, so there's going to be a lot of packets. So if we go conversions, oh, my auto tiling's making that a bit annoying. We'll maximize it. And if we go to IP version 4, sort by packets, so there's only one external IP address to start with. Like I said, with this PCAP, it didn't look like there was a lot of noise. So yeah, there's only the one external address, which is the 14.0.0.120. We're going to assume that is the port scanner. The only other option is this internal 115, but if we looked at the second question, it's based on the IP, identified IP associated with the attacker. Can you identify the country? So we know it's going to be an external IP. So let's go with 14.0.0.120. So that was correct. And let's put it into abuse IP, which will give us our geo IP location, so China. So China is the correct answer for that. From the PCAP file, multiple open ports were detected as a result of the attacker's active scan. Which of these ports provides access to the web server admin panel? Okay. If we go to statistics and IP version 4, destination and ports, just make that bigger again, sorry. We've got the server address is the 112 we saw from the conversion stats before. This is the address it's communicating with. And obviously this is the port scan activity, but we can see there's lots of traffic on port 22 for SSH and port 8080. And then these higher ports might be of interest too, but so we're going to go with 8080, and we can confirm that in the logs. .8080, and we'll see HTTP entries. So we know that 8080 is the port. Okay, question 4. Following the discovery of open ports on our server, it appears their attacker attempted to enumerate and uncover directories and files on our web server. Which tool can you identify from the analysis that assisted the attacker with the enumeration process? So we can go IP address equals 14.0.0.120. Yeah, 120. And and HTTP. And we're looking for the not found, like 404s, so here. And then we're looking for the user agent. Well, let's expand it out. I'm probably staring right at it. Server. Click on another one. User agent 404. You know what? I nearly think we could search. I bet I'm staring straight at it. Oh, user agent. There we go. So from the host name and user agent, Gobuster. So we already know that Gobuster is a popular directory searching file that's used in Kali. After the effort to enumerate directories on our web server, the attacker made numerous requests to identify administrative interfaces. Which specific directory related to the admin panel did the attacker uncover? So our logs are probably not big enough to worry about. I was just going to say we should sort port 8080, but I mean we're already seeing the connections here. So it's trying to get manager and then all the subdirectories within manager. Let's host manager install, not found. So it's still, is it still Gobuster? Yeah, it is. So let's go down to see the bottom where he found examples /examples. Unauthorized. Okay, so then it would be /manager. Okay, correct. After accessing the admin panel, the attacker tried to brute force the login credentials. Can you determine the correct username and password that the attacker successfully used to log in? So we know these are 401s, we've got a 402 here. So what did they submit? We've got the credentials there. So that was, we knew that it was the connection that was accepted. So this is the request. So it's admin Tomcat. Once inside the admin panel, their attacker attempted to upload a file with their intent of establishing a reverse shell. Can you identify the name of the malicious file from the captured data? So there's the upload, and again there's a response. So I'll make that bigger, sorry. Are we seeing the file name in here? Actually, you know what might be the easiest way is we'll just follow the HTTP stream. Expand that out, and there we've got our file name there. Something.war. So let's close that. Okay, that's right. After successfully establishing a rev shell on our server, the attacker aimed to ensure persistence on the compromised machine. From the analysis, can you determine the specific command they are scheduled to run to maintain their presence? Okay, well let's find their let's not filter HTTP. Let's just filter all their traffic. And let's find the rev shell. Oh, sorry, I might just pause the video a second, my phone's ringing. Sorry about that. Okay, we were scanning for the reverse shell persistence. So we need to find the reverse shell. And that's the unauthorized, okay. There's the upload. we weren't seeing the in the HTTP traffic the reverse shell, so I just wanted to try and find it this way. Or we could just search for the file that was uploaded, which was JXQOZY. Okay, we'll just follow the stream. Might be the easiest. So that's the web page. Okay, that hasn't caught it. Oh, there we go. Next one up on the stream. So this is spawned. This is the start of the reverse shell connection. So he's got the shell and has done who am I root, gone to temp, print working directory. Yep, you're in temp, and then echo, and he's put a cron tab entry in, which is bin bash -c, and reverse shells his IP on port 443, and cron tabbed it. Now I'm not sure if that runs daily or every minute. Anyway, that's not the question. The question was, what's the command? The command is this. Do they want the... Let's close that. And just expand that to make sure I've got the... So they do want... Is there another talking? Yeah, there, okay. Alright, so finish that lab off. I'd rate that easy. It was a little bit simple, just on the fact that there wasn't much noise in the log. Normally they're pretty good at putting a bit more noise into the log, so that, you know, you're not just seeing, if we go back to just HTTP, like the majority of the traffic is just the external IP and the reply, so that makes it pretty easy to find what you're looking for. If you don't get your searches correct to narrow it down enough, you can still just, like, browse through and find it, which I'm not sure how realistic that is in, a real SOC case. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'll pause the video and I'll write up my notes, and I'll show you how I'll write that lab up as a portfolio piece for my website, because I guess, we're all just trying to get a SOC job here. So I'll pause the video and I'll write up my notes. Okay, sorry that took a while to write up. I just wanted to show, this is my Obsidian vault. This is my front matter that I can use with a Python pipeline to automate creating my write-ups, like the formatting of them. So I copy all this from the tags in the lab. So, title, who it's with, the difficulty, the category, the skill, the tools, all that's in the lab. Some links, proof of completion, the link for the lab, the link on my website, the summary, and the art for the card. And so I wrote up my notes in here. So I format it to, look pretty. And then inksec.io is my portfolio site. So all the labs are on here. You can filter them by threat intel or malware. So we know we're doing network forensics for this one. And we see Tomcat. So this is summary. Go to the proof or the write-up. And then this is how I'll display that lab as a write-up for something to show off on the portfolio. I mean, obviously we've just gone through the lab together, so we don't necessarily need to read through it, but I'll put a link, the link for my site's in the comments anyway, in the description. But overview, a web server on the company intranet was flagged for a suspicious activity, so we went through that. And then our investigation, identifying their attack. With only one external IP address present in the capture, their attack was immediately identifiable. Just, trying to fill it with screenshots a little bit to fill it out and make it look pretty. Geolocation, placed the source IP in China, their attacker's IP, defanged just for, try and keep it with compliance. A screenshot of the IP, recon. We filtered via their attacker's IP and HTTP, and then we could see the Gobuster user agent, directory mnu. That was the /manager endpoint that they kept trying to hit, /manager /admin /install etc etc. Credential brute force, so we saw the login. I mean, this is everything we've already gone over. I'm just trying to show how I write it up on the portfolio site. The WAR file upload and reverse shell. So we've got that they authenticated as manager, and then they deployed a reverse shell, and that was the file name. We followed the TCP stream, the persistence. They scheduled a cron job to maintain persistence, which we saw in the, again, tried to put the screenshot in for proof. Then we've mapped it to the MITRE attack techniques and given a brief description, so port scan, credential brute force, file upload, bash reverse shell, and cron job persistence, so tagged with the technique IDs. And then the IOCs, so we've tried to get all the artifacts from the lab, like their attacker's IP, the geolocation, the port, the enumeration tool, the admin directory, the credentials that we used, the malicious file that was uploaded, and the C2 address, which, I mean, it ended up being their address, but the port is important there as well. Then we've got a brief lessons learned. Default Tomcat credentials should be rotated immediately on deployment. The Tomcat manager should never be exposed externally and should be restricted by IP allowed list. The WAR file upload capability should be disabled or locked down in production environments. Cron job or cron persistence via reverse shell callback is a common post-exploit step. Scheduled task monitoring and outbound connection baselining would catch this. And then the references for where we mapped the MITREs, and then these are the questions that were in the lab, and then you can just reveal the answers as well. So something a little bit different today. Just really in love with this CyberDefenders lab. It's sort of giving me the hack the box vibes, the blue team equivalent of Hack the Box, which I was quite addicted to getting all the Hack the Box boxes completed and doing the seasonal events, and so this sort of itches that scratch, but with the blue team. And if you go to labs and you go to active, and maybe we'll just filter easy, you can see that they have some premium labs. That these are the sort of like the equivalent of the seasonal Hack the Box labs. No write-ups or spoilers are allowed. There's no hint button. Actually, this will show my. Oh no, it's already hidden them, thankfully. So yeah, no featured write-ups are allowed. No spoilers, and no hint. I don't want to expand them, but there's no hint option on them. So you can sort of get points that way, and then you can go to the leaderboards, and that gives you your dopamine hit of trying to rank up. So I'm not even on the boards. There's not that many people playing because I've only ever done easy labs. I think 2 mediums, and I ranked quite well already. But yeah, this is just a great platform. I just really wanted to show it off. I'm sort of interested in doing one of these certificates. They just renamed the CCD to CCD level 2. This has a student discount, so it's half price, but there's no discount for level 2. Anyway, if anyone's ever done, or if anyone's completed these certs, let me know if they recommend it. I had a quick look at the I'm waffling on a little bit here, but this platform does excite me. I've had a look at the sample, which I think is really nice, so you actually see what you're signing up for before paying the money. And this is not my learning style. I hate reading huge, like, oh, horrible, but they do have the...
What is establishing a baseline for network?
The listen feature that makes it a little bit more bearable. Combine that with the labs, but yeah, anyway, if anyone has done that in the comments, let me know if you recommend it or not, because the other thing I was looking at doing was the Blue Team level 1, so they're the two that I'm umming and ahhing between at the moment. It's just, I love this platform, but I dislike their teaching style. Yeah, alright. This is day 63 of trying to become a SOC analyst, and I'll see you tomorrow.